Hey folks, just a quick note to let you know you can now support the podcast by shopping on Amazon.com. Just go to the specific page on Nerdist.com for this episode, click on the Amazon banner, and shop as you normally would, and Daddy gets a taste.
Now entering Nerdist.com.
Hello and welcome to episode 72 of the Competitive Erotic Fanfiction Podcast. I'm your host, Brian Cook, and you've found the internet's #1 most trusted source for Muppet boners and horny loners. Today we've got round 2 from a show recorded March 8th at the Davis Square Theater in Boston, featuring Jere Pilapil, Andrew Mayer, LANGSTON KERMAN, and Jake McDowell, reading pieces they wrote based upon audience suggestions. So first you'll hear them choose topics, and then we'll fast forward to hear the finished piece. Enjoy.
In the meantime, I'm going to read you my latest piece of insulting filth. Hope you enjoy it. Okay, Dwight, have fun at your little clown picnic, laughed Dwight's mom drunkenly as he filled his backpack with supplies. Face paint, a fresh pack of Rizlas, a 2-liter of cherry Faygo. I told you, Mom, it's not a clown picnic, it's the gathering of the Juggalos. Whatever, shit dick, said Dwight's stepdad, Dwight, who mocked little Dwight endlessly for liking the Insane Clown Posse, although he himself owned so much Kiss memorabilia it should be illegal, and also a lot of child pornography. Just stay away long enough I can smoke all your weed and drop a load in your mom, he said. Dwight shoved Dwight out the door. Little Dwight kicked rocks and waited by the dirt road that led to his mobile home as he waited for his friends. Before long, the diarrhea-brown Toyota Camry pulled up. Get in, tard boy, said Quinn, the driver. The rear door popped open and one of the 2 boys in the back got out. You ride, bitch, fuckface, said Luke. Yeah, limp dick, said Colin. They were his best friends. This was to be Dwight's first pilgrimage to the gathering of the Juggalos. He wedged himself in and began listening to the other 4 boys regale him with tales of years past. One time, this chick let 5 dudes fuck her in the ass. Last year, we all did Molly and fed a homeless guy to a Rottweiler. In 2012, we threw human shit at Tila Tequila. It sounded great. Before long, they arrived at the campground and parked. Dwight got out of the Camry and looked around. He felt like he was among his people. They were everywhere. They were painted up. They were fat as shit. Which was ironic since most juggalos had suffered from low birth weight. It was comforting to be among his peers for the first time, but most comforting was the thick coat of grease paint he was now applying to his face in the side view mirror. It covered his physical deformities. It made him look like everyone else. Maybe for the first time, Dwight could relax without constant fear of being bullied, he thought. But just as he'd begun smearing on the makeup, he felt a presence behind him. He turned to see towering over him a shirtless, rotund youth with a full-chest, shaggy two-dope tattoo. What the fuck is wrong with your face, he asked. My mom drank when I was a baby, Dwight replied, hesitantly. The stranger stared at him like a dog trying to do math. Dwight braced for whatever abuse he had just invited. There was a long pause before the pudgy delinquent finally broke the silence. Dude, that's awesome, he exclaimed, before turning and announcing to his crew, yo, my boy here been getting fucked up on the reg since he was in the womb, son. Dwight was almost crushed in the avalanche of juggalo high fives. He felt accepted for the first time in his life. What's your name, bro? Another stranger asked. Dwight, said Dwight. That's fucking lame, yo. You need a juggalo handle, son, the stranger replied. I'll work on it, Dwight stammered. The concert that night had everything. White rappers dressed as clowns. But even through the haze... Even through the haze of ditchweed, vodka Fagos, and his own developmental disability... It gets worse. Dwight couldn't help but notice that the Insane Clown Posse's lyrics did seem awfully preachy and actually borderline Christian. He tried to concentrate instead on the sick beats and cool makeup, plus the tits. A lot of girls seem to believe that their worth as people was based solely on their willingness to flash their tits. Their dads were probably super cool guys. But as rad as the concert was, it was the after party that Dwight was most looking forward to. As the show ended, he and his friends made their way back and gathered around the campfire. No one had thought to gather any wood, so it was mostly just wet cardboard and smoldering plastic 2-liter bottles. The smell would have been overpowering if Dwight had been born with any sense of smell. Before long, he found himself locked into eye contact with a girl across the fire pit. She wore those furry, pink, knee-length boots, thong underwear, assless chaps, suspenders, a black lacy bra, a huge Hatchet Man medallion, everything except clothes, basically. Her hair was done up in those pink dreadlocks, and she had her nose pierced, the gross part, the middle. Oh, fuck you. Her eyeliner looked like it had been applied by dipping a flaccid cock in a bucket of ink because it had. Backstage earlier by Twisted. Amazingly, the strange girl approached Dwight. She was clearly older than his 15 years. "Won't your mom be upset if you miss curfew?" she taunted. "No, I come from a terrible home," said Dwight, who was born without the ability to discern sarcasm. Up close, the girl was smoking, like Dwight's mom when she was pregnant with him. She had everything a juggalo guy looked for in a juggalo girl. Jacked up teeth. "I've never met my father," she flirted. "I've never met my father," she flirted. "Lucky!" exclaimed Dwight. The next thing he knew, her tongue was down his throat. Dwight's dick got harder than a GED test when you have fetal alcohol syndrome. Instinctively, Dwight shoved his hand down the front of the girl's panties. Her pussy was wetter than the ceiling tiles in Dwight's mobile home. "Your pussy is wetter than the ceiling tiles in my mobile home," said Dwight. "Do you have a condom?" she gasped. "No, but I have fetal alcohol syndrome," he replied. It didn't matter. She had already produced a rubber from her bra. It had the Hatchet Man insignia of the ICP's own private brand, produced by whatever questionable Chinese manufacturer had given the lowest bid. The irony of Chinese child laborers in an overpopulated country cranking out prophylactics only to have them shipped abroad as novelty band merch was lost on Dwight because he wasn't very smart. Condoms, how do they work, he thought. Condoms, how do they work, he said. She put it on him without using her hands. It's a miracle, he thought. It's a miracle, he said. It's just a boner, the girl scowled. It was super hot. Before he knew it, she was completely naked in the middle of the parking lot. She didn't care that everyone could see her. Dwight was still fully clothed because he wore his Jankos so low it wasn't necessary to take them off in order to fuck. She pushed him down on his back and joylessly rode him reverse cowgirl style. Dwight tried to hold off from coming by reading her back tattoos, starting in the upper left-hand corner, going down. Scabby D, Crystal Pete, DJ Jizzy Jeff. It was a list of names. It was like the Vietnam War Memorial if all the soldiers in the Vietnam War had been illiterate white hip-hop fans from broken homes instead of heroes. By the time Dwight read the last name, MC Baby Fuck Party, Dwight spilled his genetically unfortunate seed into the novelty cocksock. The girl barely contained her disappointment as she dismounted. Still fully nude, she began rifling through her purse. "Here," she said as she handed him a Sharpie and turned back to him. "Sign it." He understood at once and found a spot on her lower right back. He thought fast for the first time in his life. And in his best pseudo-graffiti scrawl, he made his mark. Fetal alky. It was the best night ever. Dwight, a.k.a. the Juggalo now known as Fetal Alky, went to the gathering every year for the rest of his life. 3 more years. You're my kind of people, Boston. All right, Jake, let me get those suggestions. Please welcome to round 2 comics who will be writing based upon those suggestions. Jere, Pilapil, Andrew Meyer, Langston Kerman, and Jake McDowell, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go ahead and start with Jake. So here's how this part works. If Jake likes the first suggestion, he can take it and run with it. If he doesn't like it or he's not sure, I'll draw a second one, and then you guys will vote on which one he has to write.
I really hope it's Shrek.
It is the Lego Movie.
I haven't seen it. I bet I can... give me another one.
All right. Pee Wee Herman. So I leave it to you, by applause. Who would like to hear the Lego Movie? All right, one of you wrote it, and I want to know who. The decency to vote for your own shitty, childish suggestion. Who'd like to hear Pee Wee Herman? Langston Kerman. Langston Kerman, clap your hands. Langston Kerman. Courage the Cowardly Dog.
I like that. I'm going to go with that one.
Give it up for Andrew Mayer. Garfield is your first.
I'll take that one.
Finally, Mr. Jere Pilapil. I don't know if this is a real thing. I'm going to read it just in case. Ben Casey, MD?
Yeah, I didn't write it.
Alright. We've got independent confirmation. How do you feel about whatever the fuck Ben Casey
I have no
MD
idea
is?
what that is.
Another one. Cinderella Man. Deep cut. Those are both terrible, I'm sorry. Everyone was on board with either of those really. We're starting over. Boy Meets World. Now we're talking. How do you feel about Boy Meets World?
I feel really good. I almost want to take it, but I do want to... I'll attempt fate.
Alright. Orange is the New Black. Another good suggestion. Who wants to hear Boy Meets World?
This is going to be good.
Who wants to hear Orange is the New Black? Boy Meets World it is. Jere Pilapil, let him hear it. Alright. And please welcome... And who do we got, round two? Somebody ready?
Yes, I am.
Langston Kerman, ladies and gentlemen, let him hear it. Your first round two competitor.
Courage was a coward. He was afraid of everything. Ghosts, monsters, devils, even white devils. That's you. Despite that, Courage didn't wear panties. He was bold that way. He never wore panties. The elastic made his genitals feel restricted, like a poor kid in a spelling competition.